Welcome back to the channel, guys. Coming at y'all with another video. UFC 327 just happened on Saturday, and this is my last UFC 327 video, and then we're moving on. But we're just matchmaking the fighters that I want to matchmake after UFC 327, and give y'all my quick 2 cents on what I think is next up for them in their careers. And we're gonna be doing Dana White's job for him, or Nick McMaynard, or Sean Shelby, or Hunter Campbell, because matchmaking in the UFC is fucking dog shit and it doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna be doing our own matchmaking fights that I think make sense and that are also compelling to the fans, and exciting fights. So exciting fights, compelling to the fans like a casual fan, and that make sense in the division. It's pretty easy, in my opinion, to do that. So we're going to do that today, and we're going to do their job for them. And I'm just going to give y'all some banger fights on what I think should happen, even if the fight is fucking boring. Like, even off topic, it is kind of on topic, but Ferris ZM, a lightweight top 15 guy, gets a Tom Nolan unranked. He's on a massive win streak. ZM is, and he gets a shit. He's not shit. Tom Nolan's not shit, but it's an unranked guy for no reason. He doesn't get a step up in competition. But Esteban Rovovics, a guy that was on a 1-fight win streak, gets Gamrot? Like, what the fuck are we doing? It makes no sense. The UFC matchmaking absolutely makes no sense. And actually, like, that's like the number one thing I think is ruining the sport right now, is the matchmaking. Like, it's fucking awful. And it could be fixed so easily. I feel like it's not that fucking hard to matchmake. Like, it's not that fucking hard. But yeah, I'm gonna start this off with a bang. Carlos Ulberg, we're putting up against a question mark right now, and I feel like you can't give him an opponent right now, because for multiple reasons. Number one, he just tore his ACL at UFC 327. So he's going to be out for 9 to 12 months regardless. So he's probably going to be ready at 2027 early or middle, depending on how everyone recovers differently. So you never know when he's going to be back. And you don't know where that division is going to be in 2027. So I feel like there's no way you can just put a certain fighter to him. And especially since Alex Pereira left, going to heavyweight, you don't know if Alex Pereira is coming back down at some point, or if he's staying at heavyweight. You don't know. And number two, the light heavyweight division has 0 contenders. The light heavyweight division is fucking dog shit. Go look at the rankings, guys. The light heavyweight division is full of shit. Like, I was preparing for this video, I was like, no, who should I matchmake? Because there's a lot of light heavyweights on this fucking video for some reason. And dude, it was fucking hard to find some fights that are mildly entertaining for some of these fighters, because the light heavyweight division is fucking trash. I feel like that might be the worst division in the UFC, minus heavyweight. Those heavier weight classes, man, they're fucking ass. I mean, hey, man, like, it's the way it is. You can't, those divisions, I can't blame the UFC for matchmaking, because they're both shitty divisions. Actually, I definitely can. We can always blame the UFC for something. Okay. Yeah, but we're gonna put Carlos Ulberg versus a question mark right now. There's not a lot going on in that division, and we don't know where that division is gonna be at in 12 months when he comes back. So, yeah, it's really simple. It's really simple. There's no direct number one contender, so I would put the number one contender, but there's no direct number one contender right now. So, next fight, we got Yuri Prochazka versus Magomed Ankalaev. I feel like this is a pretty simple, easy fight the UFC should make. The UFC should definitely make this. It's a very simple, like I said, light heavyweight's fucking dog shit. But there's 2 contenders that are kind of on the same path right now, or they've had the same type of losses in these past few fights. I mean, Magomed just got KO'd by Alex Pereira for the title, and Yuri Prochazka just got KO'd by Ulberg for the title. and they're both high up in the division. I think one of them's 1 or one of them's 2, something like that. I'm not too sure, or 3, something along those lines. And they're both elite. They're both elite fighters, so it's definitely a compelling fight. And they're both stylistically fun fighters as well. So Yuri Prohaska got KO'd by Olberg, pretty embarrassing by him on his part. And Magomed lost a lot of aura, getting KO'd by Alex Pereira. This is the who's getting some aura back in this fight, because one of them needs it. But yeah, this is definitely a fun fight though. Magomed's a fun striker to watch. Yuri's a fun striker to watch. I could definitely see this being a fun fight for the fans. And this fight just gives off a fight night in Abu Dhabi main event. This is what I think. This would be a great main event headliner in Abu Dhabi. You know how UFC likes to stack those Abu Dhabi cards, those fight nights. So I would definitely love to see that on a main event for a fight night. Or some type of Middle East card. I don't know. They always go down to the Middle East and do weird shit there, but that money in the Middle East is crazy, right? But I feel like this is I honestly feel like the UFC is probably going to do this. I don't really think they should do this. I think they're probably going to do this because it's the goddamn only matchup they could do. But yeah, let's get back on to Paulo Costa versus Bogdan Guskov. This is actually a fight that I was thinking about, and this is another problem. This is the problem I was talking about. There ain't shit for Paulo Costa right now. But what I'm thinking here, Bogdan Guskov has a fight versus Jan Blachowicz, as you may know, at UFC 328. Number 2, their second fight. And I do think Bogdan's going to win. I think that old age is getting up to Jan Blachowicz, and I think Bogdan's going to win. And when he does win, I feel like this fight, Paulo Costa versus Bogdan Guskov, for the interim title, while we let Carlos Olberg recover, and then the winner of that fights Colt Olberg. I can see that happening. That would make kind of sense to me. Because if Bogdan wins versus Jan Blachowicz, he would be the most deserving after Paulo Costa. So that makes sense to me if that does happen. And it's a stylistically fun fight. Not the highest level of MMA. It's a very one-sided striker versus striker, so you're not getting anything unknown in that aspect of things. But they are high-level strikers, and they're fun strikers. They're dangerous strikers. They're fucking savages. Bogdan's a fucking savage. He throws some wild shit. And Paulo Costa looked like a fucking madman. Vintage Paulo Costa's back, apparently, at light heavyweight. He looked fucking fast, man. He looked fucking fast. I would love to see this fight if, obviously, Guskov does win in that fight versus Jan Blachowicz coming up here soon. And put it for the interim title if Carlos Olberg's going to be out for a very long time. If Olberg comes back and he's like, hey, my ACL is torn, but it's not that torn, like you know how that shit goes. Like he's going to recover fast. Then put us for a number one contenders fight. Number one contender fight, winner fights Olberg for the title. And we don't got to do any interim or any vacation. That would make sense to me. I just kind of thought of that on the fly right now. That would make sense. That'd make sense. And I'm going to do some predictions for the fight as well. I forgot I was going to do that. Fuck. All right. Magomed is going to KO Yuri. I think Yuri's taken too much damage recently. He's just been too much wars. The old age is going to catch up to him at some point. Yeah, and I really think Magomed's going to KO him probably round 1 or 2. Probably round 1. And then Paulo Costa versus Guskov or Bogdan. We're going to call him Bogdan. We're going to go Paulo Costa probably by decision. I don't think he KOs him. I think it's his decision. I think he outclasses him. Next fight on the card. Or not the card. On my matchmaking. We're matchmaking right now. We're matchmaking. We're Dana White and the boys right now. Sorry. Okay. That was bad. Okay. Asmat. I forgot his name. I forgot his last name, to be honest. But Asmat versus Khalil Roundtree is the fight we're picking for Asmat on his comeback fight after getting KO'd by Paulo Costa. He looked decent in this fight. He didn't look the best. He was undefeated beforehand, but I don't know. I feel like the UFC doesn't really give a fuck about him, to be honest. Like, they gave him Paulo Costa, and Paulo Costa's a great fighter now, but like, you could tell the UFC was hoping that Asmat would lose. I had a feeling. I'm not too sure, but I feel like they don't really seem as promotable, so they just fed him to Paulo Costa. I'm not too sure why they did that, but anyways, we're gonna have him fight Khalil Rountree. This fight would actually be a pretty fun fight in my opinion, because I feel like they're both kind of aesthetically pleasing strikers. Their boxing's both aesthetically pleasing. I like Khalil Rountree's striking style. It's nice. I mean, I'm not saying it's elite, but it's nice. It's an aesthetically pleasing style. And Asmat's boxing is actually kind of nasty, and I kind of like it. So this fight would be actually really cool. Where this fight would happen, put this fight on an opener of like a main card on a number card. I feel like that would make kind of sense. I wouldn't mind that. I feel like it has some implications to the division. Not really. I don't think either guy's doing much unless Asmat makes a comeback. But Khalil Rountree for sure ain't doing shit. But it's a solid fight. Would I be the most hyped for this fight? Probably not. Who I would favor? Asmat. I think Asmat KOs Khalil Rountree, but it would be a fun fight while it lasts. It'll be a fun fight while it lasts. So far on the left, like you can't tell me like every fight you'd be kind of interested in a way. All right, now we got next fight. We're going Curtis Blades versus Spivak. Okay, to be honest, this fight I'm not really excited about at all. To be honest, I honestly added Curtis Blades on this list because he fought Josh Hoggett, and it was an exciting fight. So we're gonna matchmake Curtis Blades, and I feel bad for Curtis Blades because he's gotten the shit end of the stick. He fought like a rising contender, and I forgot his name. It was some like Russian heavyweight that he did beat by split decision. But the UFC was trying to help. He was hoping he was losing. Like the UFC was hoping he was losing, and then now he's fighting Josh Hoggett, another I think he was unranked at the time. So the UFC is just fucking Curtis Blades over left and right, and I feel bad for him because he's a nice guy, and I kind of like Curtis Blades even though he's not that good. But we're gonna put him against Spivak. I feel like this fight just makes sense. I feel like they're both just in no man's land in the heavyweight division. So we're gonna have them fight each other, and hopefully Curtis Blades can get a win, because I feel like just for him to get a win, honestly, I'm not like there's really nothing to it. It's probably gonna be a shit fight. Curtis Blades could KO him, but like it's just like it's a shit fight. I mean, it's heavyweight, so it could be fun, but like someone could get knocked out, but likely. I mean, Spivak is probably he might like, I don't know. I honestly there's not really a lot to say about that fight. Like heavyweight's not that fun. All right, next fight we're gonna go. I mean, obviously the fight's already fucking made, but Josh Hoggett versus Derek Lewis. You already know how I feel about this fight. I made a video yesterday about it. I'll link that video in the description. But yeah, it's shit matchmaking. So like this is the type of shit the UFC's throwing down our throats. Like this is what they're actually giving us. Josh Hoggett versus Derek Lewis. A fight that makes absolutely no fucking sense. All because Donald Trump sucks off Dana White, and Dana White sucks off Donald Trump. They both suck each other off. And the fight makes no sense to the division. It's an exciting fight, sure. It's on a big card, sure. But it means nothing to the division, and Josh Hoggett deserves a number one contender fight. So, not really a lot to say there, other than UFC doesn't give a fuck about the rankings and doesn't give a fuck about the integrity of the division. So, nice. Another light heavyweight that I have to match make. It's fucking Dominic Reyes this time. I was damn sure not putting fucking Johnny Walker on this video after seeing that performance. I didn't want to put Derek. I didn't want to put fucking Dominic Reyes either. To be honest, that fight fucking sucked. Dominic Reyes is overrated as fuck. To be honest, he's looked like shit. That his whole comeback shit was fucking stupid. Like he fought one good fighter in Colton Olberg and got KO'd. So, but we're gonna put him against Jamal Hill. The light heavyweight division sucks, like I said. So there's not really a lot to do. But Jamal Hill kind of made the most sense. He's coming off 3 losses. He's looked like shit in his fights, and the downfall of Jamal Hill has been pretty crazy, to be honest. Like it's been pretty crazy, the downfall of Jamal Hill. But we're gonna put him against Dominic Reyes because it's kind of a throwaway fight, to be honest. Put this on a prelims of a fucking Apex card. Nah, don't do that. But like a main card of an Apex card. This is a fight I don't want to see with the crowd. I don't really care about this fight. I don't really care about either one of these fighters, to be honest. I feel like they're both pretty shit. But yeah, that's what we're doing for that fight. And who would I win that fight? Probably Dominic Reyes. Honestly, I think fucking Jamal Hill fucking sucks. I don't know how he was champion for a little bit and how that happened, but like Jamal Hill fucking sucks. So we're gonna go Dominic Reyes decision. And I already said Asma was gonna beat him. Curtis Blades by decision. Josh Hoga KO. Forgot to tell you that. But next fight we got Aaron Pico versus Yair Rodriguez. It's actually a pretty banger fight that I think I cooked up here. I'm not gonna lie. Probably out of every fight so far, other than the Yuri Magomed fight, is probably the fight I'd be the most excited about. Pico looked fucking good in his last fight versus Pitbull, and I would love to see this fight. Not only do they kind of look the same, but one's American and one's Mexican. Like they kind of have the same beard, same hair, same skin tone a little bit, just different faces. Like I don't know, this matchup just screams like I don't know, like something about it just it has that ring to it. Yair Rodriguez versus Aaron Pico. It's a fucking banger of a fight. It's a banger. Pico's boxing versus Yair's kickboxing would be a fucking cool fight. Yair's been sitting out for a year he was hoping for a title shot for a little bit. They ain't giving it to him. But Yair was bitching for a title shot. After they beat Pitbull, he was hoping the UFC would give him an undeserved title shot, and they never did, so thank the fucking Lord. But yeah, Pico versus Yair is a banger fight. I would love to see this. It makes perfect sense in the division. Pico just beat number 15 or 14 or 13, Pitbull. So give him a big jump up and have him fight Yair. Yair hasn't done fuck all for a long time. So have him fight Pico. I feel like that makes perfect sense. Yair's been sitting out for a year, hoping for a title shot, not doing shit, not fighting. He was hoping for that title shot versus Volkman, and Dana White was eating it up at first. He was gonna do it because he loves Mexican fighters for some reason, and he also loves fighters that are good markets, and obviously the Mexican market's pretty good for fighting. So yeah, but put that fight together. That would be a banger fight. Put that on. You could headline a Mexican UFC Mexico card, or even put on a main card on a numbered card. That'd be a fucking fun fight. Stylistically fun as fuck. People want to see that shit. Like people love stylistically pleasing fights. And that's the thing. People love stylistically pleasing fights, even if it's a shit fight. Like I swear, the most boring fight will happen with like 2 stand-up fighters and people will glaze it. But if it's like a high-level wrestling matchup, like chess match, people would fucking shit talk it for some reason. Like it makes no fucking sense. But off topic there. But Pico versus Rodriguez, banger fight. I would go Pico if he doesn't get KO'd, or I don't know. It's a hard fight to pick though, but I would probably go Pico via decision if I had to guess. But it's a banger fight though. UFC should definitely make sense in the division. There's big implications for that. If Pico wins, do they give him a title shot? If Yair wins, do they give him a title shot? This could be low-key a number one contender fight. In a weird way. After Movsar gets his title shot, though. For sure. But, okay, next fight. We got Kevin Holland versus Jeff Neal. This fight was actually already scheduled. I think it was UFC Houston, I believe, they scheduled this fight, but it fell off. But I feel like this fight makes perfect sense. I feel like I'm kind of giving up on the Kevin Holland fighting good fighters. I don't think they're ever going to book him versus a really good fighter or a really good prospect. They're going to book him versus old guys that can strike. That's what they do. The UFC gives them favorable matchups. They want Kevin Holland around as long as possible because he fills out cards. He's a fun fighter. People like to see him fight. He's popular. And he fights a lot, so it's a dream scenario for the UFC, and they're gonna keep feeding him fights. It's kind of like they both have a deal. Kevin Holland doesn't want to get a title shot. He doesn't give a fuck about the ranking. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that shit. He cares about money and fighting on a lot of cards. And the UFC's like, fuck yeah, like we'll have you fight on a lot of cards and give you shit opponents, and it'll be perfect. It's a perfect handshake. It's a perfect handshake. But this fight makes sense. Jeff Neal's old. He's entertaining. He's everything the UFC wants Kevin Holland to fight. And the fight makes sense. Who I would pick to win? Probably Jeff Neal. I feel like Kevin Holland loses to these type of fighters that actually can box. I feel like Jeff Neal would outbox the fuck out of Kevin Holland and probably win. Out pressure him. Out muscle him. Out gritty him. I don't really like Kevin Holland, to be honest. I think he's a cornball. I think he's annoying as fuck. But we're going to go Jeff Neal by probably decision. We don't really see Kevin Holland get finished too often. But yeah. We'll Jeff Neal by decision. Last fight. We're going to go Gamrot versus Moicano. It was kind of hard picking or matchmaking for Gamrot because he's fought a lot of fighters in the UFC. And the lightweight division's kind of booked up a lot right now. I was thinking about doing Paddy Pimblett, but I was like, the UFC's not going to fucking do that. They're not giving Paddy Pimblett to Gamrot. Gamrot's not promotable enough, and Gamrot's a stylistically bad matchup for Pimblett, in my opinion. I feel like Gamrot would ragdoll the fuck out of him. So I had them giving him Moicano, but it's interesting because I don't know if Moicano and Gamrot are going to want to fight each other because they're from the same team and American Top Team. I mean, Moicano did just fight Chris Duncan, who was American Top Team as well, but I don't know if he's going to want to do that again. But this fight makes sense in the division, though. They're both kind of highly ranked in the division. And Gamrot just fought an unranked Esteban Rivovics and beat the shit out of him. So I feel like he deserves a fight upper in the division and not way the fuck behind him. An unranked guy. It's disrespectful to Gamrot. He did get a big jump in Charles Oliveira. Y'all know what happened to him after that. Charles Oliveira beat the shit out of him on my birthday. But it's a fun fight though. Gamrot versus Moicano. Moicano's grappling versus Gamrot's wrestling. Moicano's probably going to have the better striking as well. So that's a pretty interesting fight. I would definitely look forward to that. Put that on it's probably headline a fight night if I had to guess. I feel like that just screams Apex main event, which is actually not a bad main event. So I wouldn't mind that. But Kevin Holland versus Jeff Neal is definitely going on a number card, probably opening up the main card, knowing the UFC. Just knowing the UFC, that's what they fucking do. They love Kevin Holland. But that's really it, guys. It's really it. There wasn't really a lot of great fights I could really matchmake on this card. A lot of it was light heavyweight and heavyweight, which I don't really like those two divisions. I feel like they both fucking suck. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't the funnest time to make matchups for those fighters, but Aaron Pico versus Yair's a banger fight. Magomed versus Yair's a banger fight. Moicano versus Gamrot's a great fight as well. I would look forward to. And even some of these light heavyweight fights, I wouldn't mind seeing Asmat versus Khalil Roundtree, and I wouldn't mind seeing Paulo Costa versus Bogdan if he does win. So, y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Did I cook? Did I cook? And I feel like these are all matchups that are great. Like we're making a bad situation good with these matchmaking, you know? And I feel like it's not hard to do. And the UFC should definitely take a look into my work. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content. I'll link that video down in the description of the previous video. And I'll talk to you later.